Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is AndreJoy1 here, back again with another Card Fight Vanguard GV Series deck profile. This is for my last card Revan deck for Aqua Force from the recent set, Team's Dragon Vanity. Here's the deck profile. Here we go. We got blue, for starter, Blue Wave Recruit Costi. He's the new starter for the Blue Wave support. Overall, I believe this is my favorite Aqua Force starter, even though it does have the same skill, but I love the art. For the grade 3s, we are playing 4 copies of Last Card Revan. Last Card Revan, once per turn, act ability. Rest one of your own rear guards. Your opponent's Vanguard gets minus 5k power during the turn. Then, when this card attacks a Vanguard, if you have 5 or more rested rear guards, this unit gets an extra 15,000 power, plus an additional critical if you have another grade 3 in the soul, and an additional drive check, which is basically building you up building you up enough support for against other fights, against other clans such as Narcomi, Witch Field Wipe, which is really good because you will be able to get your hand back quickly with this and your board back quick. For 2 copies, we are playing 2 copies of one of the main supports for Revan. We are playing 2 copies of Fourth Vessel Dragon. When placed on the Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1, your opponent's Vanguard also gets minus 5k power, which isn't bad. It's a good first ride just in case if you miss Revan. You could also push on that turn. Then you also have its other ability on Rearguard Continuous. If you have 4 or more rested rearguards, including himself, if your Vanguard is Last Card Revan, this unit cannot be targeted by card effects and also gets an additional 5,000 power. For the last and final grade 3 of the deck, we are playing 2 copies of Riptide Dragon, the common grade 3 from Champions of the Asia Circuit. This card is continuous. This card can only attack on the 4th or more battle. Then, when it attacks, it also gets an additional 20,000 power. This card is able to push for damage and game, especially with the 20,000, especially from the triple drive of Revan if you hit multiple triggers. Next, for the grade 2s of the deck, we're playing 4 copies of Blue Wave Marine General Gallius. Gallius' ability, continuous on the rearguard circle. During your turn, if you have 4 more rested rearguards, this unit gets 5,000 power. Then, once per turn, when your grade 3 Vanguard attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard's current power is different from its original, counterblast 1 and stand this unit, which basically helps you push for more damage and more attacks, and that means more cards from your opponent's hand will be wasted. Now, we are also playing 4 copies of Blue Wave Marine General Foivos. Foivos' ability is, when placed, if your Vanguard is Last Card Revan, Soul Blast 1, rest this card, look at the top card of your deck, call it to rearguard. Not bad, helps you build the board, gets you the rest you need for Revan's ability. Then, his second ability is on the rearguard, once per turn. If your grade 3 Vanguard attacks, you may discard 1 card from your hand if the opponent's Vanguard's power is different than its original power. Then, from My Glorious Justice, we are playing 4 copies of Coral Assault. Coral Assault, continuous. During the battle and attack, if it is the 4th or more battle, it will get 15,000 power. Then, on the rearguard, if you were to attack 4 or more times during the turn, you may, at the end of the turn, put this unit into your soul, gain an additional draw, which is good for this deck because it will help you build for guarding turns. Then, for 2 copies of, we are playing 2 copies of Tidal Assault. Tidal Assault ability is, when it attacks, Soul Blast 1, stand it. Then if it was to be the second battle, this unit will get minus 5,000. This is good because it also triggers off your multi-attack skills, such for Riptide, such for all your rested rearguard needs. Then, we are also playing, for the grade 1s, we are playing 4 copies of Blue Wave Marine Soldiers Senior Baragius. Baragius' ability continues on the rearguard. If you have 4 more rested rearguard units, this unit gets 5k power. Then, when this unit is placed on the Vanguard or the rearguard circle, you may look at the top 5 cards of your deck and search for a grade 3 unit. This card really helps out if you don't have Revan in hand, you're searching for the grade 3 you need, or a grade 3 to ride into with a marker. Then we are playing 4 copies of Battle Siren Narissa. Narissa's ability is when it is rested for an ability, such as Revan, you will Soul Blast 1. This unit will stand with an additional 10,000 power. This card is an 18k booster or an attacker, which really pushes once your opponent's Vanguard's -5. Then, you also have its auto ability on the rear guard as well after the end of the turn. If your field has 5 or more rested units, rested rear guards, you are allowed to put this unit into your soul and draw an extra card. Next, for the last grade 1 of the deck, we are playing 3 copies of Wheel Assault. Wheel Assault is ability. When on the Vanguard Circle, when rode upon, you get to counterblast 1, draw an additional card, and you get to call a card from your hand, which is really good. Say you're riding on your grade 2 turn, you can call a grade 3 with this card to your field, which is basically saying, oh, I have a 12k beatstick ready to do damage and hit you for numbers. That wastes more of cards out of my opponent's hand, which really helps me get into Revan turn. Then, for the triggers, we are playing 4 copies of Emerald Shield Pascal, the Draw Trigger Perfect Guard. We are playing the usual 4 heal triggers, but we are also playing we're playing 4 Supersonic Soldiers, Sailor. We are also playing 2 copies of Blue Storm Marine General Despina. Then, we are also playing 2 copies of... I forgot his name. Parozine Communication Sea Otter Soldier. This deck is a 6 crit, 6 draw, 4 heal deck. For my opinion, this deck is really good. As of today, on this day of... on March 7th, the second day release for Dragon's Vending, this deck has won me today locals at my local card shop, Legendary Creatures. And I will be sponsoring my card shop here. And if any of you guys ever want to visit a good card shop, we have really decent Vanguard tournaments on through Wednesday and Saturdays. I will be posting fights about this deck more often. I will try to get the most amount of Vanguard content out of this channel. Then, in my overall review with this deck is definitely Axel 2. You are drawing, you are getting multi-attacks, you are basically building up hand for guarding, calling. You have it all with this deck. But in overall, this deck is really great. I love it. It's basically been working out for me with this setup. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. This is Andre Joy 1, signing off.